Hello students, myself Swapnil sir and welcome to yet another lecture on our vector chapter. We have started lecture series on vector chapter. As our board exam is coming, so we have uploaded plenty of the videos in our channel. So if you are interested to see this video, do check it in my playlist. So in my today's video, I'm gonna explain to you all one of the very much important topic from the vector chapter, which is a direction cosines direction ratios along with some of the important questions. Okay, so without further ado, let's get dive into our today's lecture. First of all, I'm going to explain here some of the basic concept, and at the end we will move for some of the example which is from the board exam question papers. Now let's get start. Okay, so before I start my lecture, I wanted to explain here some of the relations between direction cosine direction ratios and along with some of the important theorem which is useful here for our subsequent examples. Okay, so direction cosines and direction ratios. Direction cosines, I define it as a DCS in the form of short form. Okay, direction cosines, I denote it as the DCS. Okay, and a direction cosine and direction ratio, the relation between them, we have to understand it here first of all. Okay, so for that we know the one standard result for finding the direction cosines and ratio, which is the L square plus M square plus N square, which is equal to 1. Proof of that theorem already I have given in my previous lecture. So if you wanted to see this video, do check in my playlist. Okay, so this one is the important result which we learned in our previous lecture. Okay, L square plus M square plus N square, which is equal to 1. And the value for L, M, N can be represented as L, which is equal to cos of alpha, M, which is equal to cos of beta, and N, which is equal to cos of gamma. Okay, these three are the values for L, M and N. Okay, and it represents that L square plus M square plus N square, which is equal to 1. That means cos square alpha plus cos square beta plus cos square gamma, which is equal to 1. Okay, so I found that we have result here, important result for finding the direction cosines and ratios. Okay, so one more result it is there. So whenever we have the direction ratios in the form of A, B, C, okay, or direction cosines in the form of A, B, C, then that time how can we define direction ratios? Okay, for defining the direction ratios, we know that it is also the standard result that first A divided by square root of A square plus B square plus C square. Okay, this one is the first direction ratios. Similarly, second direction ratios can be defined as B upon A square plus B square plus C square. Okay, and similarly third direction ratios we can define it here as a C upon square root of A square plus B square plus C square. Okay, these are our direction ratios for our line. Okay, by using these results we are going to solve some of the examples. And one more result we know here, whenever we have direction cosines or ratios are given in the form of A plus choice of B plus thrice of C, something like of the equation. Okay, so for example, if you have given the equation like A plus B plus C, which is equal to 0. Okay, such a type of the equation if you have given in your example, okay, that time how can we define direction ratios? Okay, so we know that we can write this one as A upon determinant of B, C, B, C. Okay, so it is completely defined by using our given equation like a B1, C1, B2, C2 here. Okay, similarly B upon A1, C1, A2, C2. Okay, and similarly for the third C upon A2, B2, A1, B1. Okay, so A1, B1 we can write here, A2, B2 it is coming here. Okay, this type of the results we are going to use here in our subsequent part. Okay, again the important result, which is the section formula, which is for internal division and external division, which is also important here. Okay, the section formula for internal division, it says that when we have line segment AB or any line segment here, we divide third point our line segment AB in the internally as a ratio as a M as to N. Then we define section formula for internal division as a MA bar plus NB bar upon M plus N. Okay, this one is the section formula for internal division. Similarly, we can define the section formula for external division as MA bar minus NB bar upon M minus N as the section formula for external division. Okay. So section formula for internal division, we write MA bar plus N times B bar upon M plus N, which is a section formula for internal division. Okay. And similarly for external division, MA bar minus NB bar upon M minus N. Okay. Why actually, what is the reason behind that we are using the section formula? Okay, till the moment we know that till 11th standard you learn that for finding the midpoint of our line segment, okay, if our center or if any point divides our line segment at a perfectly mid, okay, that means at the midpoint perfectly the third point divides our line segment AB, then we can easily find the value. We can easily use to find the value using midpoint result. Okay, now for example, if I consider the line segment A to B, okay, this one is a line segment AB, and consider the third point C as a midpoint here. Okay, so for finding the midpoint here C, we know that the ratio M and here M both are the equal ratio from our segment A to B here, okay, which divides our line third point C, and it divides third point C in a such a way that the first part and the second section of our line segment both are equal. Okay, that time easily we can define the section formula. Okay, that time easily we can define the midpoint formula. Okay, but now consider in a, such a cases that we don't have their ratios are equal. Okay, so sometimes whenever ratios are equal, midpoint formula it is applicable. But if the ratios as a first ratio of the segment AB and BC both are the different, like M as to N, but ratios are different, in such a case we have to apply here section formula for internal and external division. Okay, so that's it here, our basic concept we needed for our subsequent examples. Okay, so we will go for the some of the example directly. Okay, I'm expecting that you all have understood here. Okay, so let's move for the next example. Okay, so here in our next example we have given, okay, alpha, beta, gamma are the direction angle of a line L. Okay, we have given direction angles. Let me write first of all what we have given: alpha, comma, beta and alpha, beta, gamma are direction angle of a line L, are direction angle of line L. Okay, so we have given alpha, beta, gamma are the direction angle of a line L. Then we have to prove here cos square alpha plus cos square beta plus cos square gamma, which is equal to 1. Okay, cos square alpha plus cos square beta plus cos square gamma, which is equal to 1. Okay, this one is our standard result that we already proved it in our previous lecture. Okay, so if you wanted to see the entire proof for this theorem, do check in my previous examples. Okay, lecture, so you will get this proof there. Okay, so what basically our result said that whenever we have alpha, beta, gamma are the direction angles of the line L. Okay, then we write cos square alpha plus cos square beta plus cos square gamma, which is equal to 1. Okay, so this is the standard theorem. Already I proved it in my previous lecture, so I'm not gonna explain this theorem again. So if you wanted to see, do check in my previous playlist. Okay, now we have one more attached question. Okay, and hence deduce that sin square alpha plus sin square beta plus sin square gamma, which is equal to 2. Okay, so what actually we have to prove here? We have to prove sin square alpha plus sin square beta plus sin square gamma, which is equal to 2. Okay, so we have to show this identity as a sin square alpha plus sin square beta plus sin square gamma, which is equal to 2 here. Okay, yes, let's go for the finding using our given direction angle of our line L. Okay, so cos square alpha, cos square beta and cos square gamma. Okay, so we know that our given result in the form of a cos square, and we want our entire proof in the form of a sin square. Okay, that means we know one more result, like a cos square theta can be written as 1 minus sine square theta, you can take this one, or cos 2 theta. Okay, cos 2 theta, it is not that applicable because we have cos square theta. So we directly going to apply cos square theta as 1 minus sine square theta. Okay, so as we know that sine square theta plus cos square theta, sine square theta plus cos square theta, we know that 1. Okay, and using our given cos square alpha, cos square beta, cos square gamma, which is equal to 1, using this identity we have to claim the sine square alpha, sine square beta, sine square gamma, which is equal to 2. Okay, now let's move for the complete proof of our next part. Okay, first part already I have proved here, that's why I skip the first part of our example. Now in only our next part we are going to prove the next condition here. Okay, sine square alpha, sine square beta, sine square gamma here. Okay, now we know that cos square alpha can be written as 1 minus sine square alpha. Okay, that means we want the value for cos square theta can be written as 1 minus sine square theta. Okay, this one is the result that we are going to apply here. Okay, so cos square alpha can be written as 1 minus sine square alpha plus cos square beta can be written as 1 minus sine square beta. Cos square gamma can be written as 1 minus sine square gamma. Okay, sine square gamma, which is equal to 1. Okay, so what I have done here, basically I just adjust the term cos square theta into the 1 minus sine square theta. Okay, so in our next step what we do, take sine square term together and the all constant together. So 1 plus 1 plus 1. Okay, so we will take 1 plus 1 plus 1 here separately. Then minus sine square alpha minus sine square alpha minus sine square beta minus sine square gamma. Okay, so next part we write minus sine square alpha minus sine square beta minus sine square gamma. Okay, these are just a little calculation, nothing we have here, just need to go for the calculating all the terms. Okay, now we can see here 1 plus 1 plus 1 can be written minus sine square alpha minus sine square beta minus sine square gamma, which is equal to 1. Okay, and we want our entire proof in the form of a sine square theta. Okay, so in order to prove our sine square theta, so take all this negative sine square to the other side, you will get the all positive terms here. Okay, next step we can write 1 plus 1 plus 1, which is a 3. 3 can be written to the taken to the other side, it goes to the negative 3, or you may take 1 to the other side. Okay, so we write next step as 1 plus 1 plus 1, which is a 3, minus sign common. Okay, so we will take minus directly common from here. Okay, so minus of sine square alpha under bracket plus sine square beta plus sine square gamma. Okay, sine square alpha plus sine square beta plus sine square gamma. Okay, take that positive one to the other side, we get it at the negative, which is equal to 0. Okay, so what I have done here, I taken that negative one to the other side, so positive one to the other side, it gets to the negative of 1, and then taken that negative sign common from entire sine square alpha, sine square beta and sine square gamma. Okay, so we can see here 3 minus 1, which gives us the value 2. Again we have minus of sine square alpha, sine square beta, sine square gamma. Take entire this bracket. Okay, take that negative of entire bracket to the other side, we can write this one as then sine square alpha plus sine square beta plus sine square gamma. Okay, which is the other side here. Okay, so I have taken to the ones 2 at other side, and the remaining sine square alpha plus sine square beta plus sine square gamma to the one side. Okay, so we can see that that is our required proof which we want in our given example. Okay, so what we have to prove here, basically we have to show the sine square alpha plus sine square beta plus sine square gamma, which is equal to 2. Okay, so this is our required proof of our statement. Okay, so I'm expecting that you all have understood this solution. Nothing it is difficult here. That question asked in our board exam for July 2018 board exam. Question asked it for the 4 marks. Okay, so let's move for the next question. Okay, in our next question we have given, if a line makes an angle, okay, if a line makes an angle 90 degree, 135 degree, 45 degree with x, y and z axis respectively. Okay, so what we have here, we have here line, okay, which makes an angle with our x axis, y axis and z axis, as we have three dimensional figure. So if any single line which goes to our x and y, z axis, so obviously it gives us a three different angle. Okay, so if line makes an angle, okay, line, right, let me explain what we have given first. Line makes an angle, if line makes an angle 90 degree comma 135 degree comma 45 degree. Okay, 90 degree, 135 degree, 45 degree with x axis, y axis and z axis. Okay, with x comma y comma and z axis. Okay, this is our given statement. Okay, line makes an angle 90, 135, 40 degree with x, y and z axis respectively. Okay, then we want the direction cosines for our angles. Okay, for finding the direction cosines of the angle, we need to know first of all here, for finding the direction cosines of the angle, we have to find out the value for cos alpha, cos beta, cos gamma, which three of these are the different direction cosines for the angle. Okay, so direction cosines for the angle can be written as L, which is equal to cos alpha, M, which is equal to cos of beta, and N, which is equal to cos of gamma. Okay, these all are the direction cosines of our given angle. Okay, so we want here direction cosine of the angle, that means we want the value for L, M and N here. Okay, so we know that L, which is equal to cos alpha, M, which is equal to cos beta, and N, which is equal to cos gamma. Okay, so consider alpha, which is equal to 90 degree here, alpha which is equal to 90 degree, beta which is equal to 135 degree, and gamma which is equal to 45 degree. Okay, so we have alpha here, beta here and gamma here. Okay, you may consider any value as alpha, beta, gamma. Okay, you can go for the alpha as a 135 degree, nothing matter, because we have to operate only cos on our alpha, beta and gamma. Okay, now apply cos 90 degree, cos 135 degree, cos 45 degree. Okay, yes, so we have alpha, then let's go for finding L, which is equal to cos of alpha. Okay, and the value for alpha, as we have 90 degree, then we can write L, which is equal to cos of 90 degree. Okay, so we can write L, which is equal to cos of 90 degree, and we know that when cos gives a 90 degree, okay, that means at our 90 degree and 270 degree, means at the imaginary axis cos always gives us a 0 value. Okay, and at a real axis like a 0 and 180 degree, cos 1 and minus 180 is there. Okay, so need to be very much careful about these values. Okay, so L, which is equal to cos 90, that means we will get the L, which is equal to cos 90 is a 0. So I got the value for L, which is equal to 0 here. Okay, so that is the easy part here. Okay, now 135 degree and 45 degree, so we have to take the next value as a 45 degree. So we can write L, which is equal to cos of, and I consider 45 as a gamma. Okay, cos of gamma. Okay, so we can write M, which is equal to cos of gamma. Okay, this one is the value for M, sorry, N. This one is the value for N, which is equal to cos gamma. I have taken directly L and N. Okay, because M needed more calculations, so I kept it for the at the end part of our solution. Okay, yes, N, which is equal to cos gamma. So N, which is equal to cos of, value for gamma, what is the value for gamma? We have 45 degrees, so cos of 45 degree. Okay, and we know that cos 45 which gives us value 1 by root 2. Okay, so that means N gives us the value 1 divided by root 2. Okay, this is the value for N here. Okay, and similarly we have to find out the value for M. Okay, M, which is equal to cos of beta. Okay, I have taken that M cos beta at the end calculation intentionally. Okay, because it takes time for finding the calculation. Okay, Yes, m which is equal to cos of beta. Okay, so cos of beta, what is the value for cos beta? 135 degree. Okay, m which is equal to cos of 135 degree. Now see that we 135 degree, which is not the standard angle. Okay, standard angle we know that 0 degree, 30 degree, 45, 60, 90, 180, 270, 360. These are the standard values, okay, for our angle. Okay, but if it comes like 135 degree, 165, 175 degree, some odd type of the values are coming, then we have to apply here allied angle for finding the values for their angles. Okay, so 135 degree we can write as a 90 plus something or 180 minus something. Okay, so we can write m which is equal to cos of 90 degree plus 45 degree. Okay, 90 degree plus 45 degree can be written as cos 135 degree. Okay, so I have written 135 as a 90 plus 45. Okay, and we know that cos pi by 2 plus theta, cos pi by 2 plus theta means it goes to the second quadrant, and in our second quadrant we have sine and cosec are positive. Okay, obviously cos it goes to the negative here, so we write m which is equal to negative of cos, it is at the odd angle like a pi by 2, 3 pi by 2, it gives us the sine. Okay, so cos will be get converted into the sine because we have pi by 2 angle. Okay, at the angle of a pi by 2 or 3 pi by 2, cos get converted into the sine. Okay, so cos it is goes to the sine, and as we have 90 plus theta, cos gives us the negative sign, so that negative sign it is here, and cos 90 plus theta can be written as minus sine theta, so minus sine 45 degree here. Okay, yes, and we know that minus sine 45 degree means keep that negative sign as it is. Okay, and sine 45 which gives us the value 1 by root 2. Okay, so minus of 1 by root 2 we can write it here. Okay, so I got the value for m, I get the value for n, and I get the value for l. Okay, which are the required direction cosines for our given angle. Okay, which are the required direction DCS. Okay, which are the required direction cosines of our given three different angles. Now see that how easy type of the questions coming in your board exam. So do attempt all these questions first in your board exam. Okay, because similar type of the questions are always help you to make your score higher in your board exam. Okay, so do attempt this type of the question always. Okay, now let's go for the next question. In our next question we want the find the direction cosine of the vector. Okay, so we want the direction cosine for vector I cap plus 2j cap minus 2k cap. Okay, what we want here? Find. Okay, we want here find. Okay, find direction cosines. We want the direction cosines here. Okay, direction cosine using of the vector. Okay, cosine of the vector, and vector we have given I cap plus 2 times j cap minus 2 times k cap. Okay, this one is our required vector given I cap minus plus 2j cap minus 2k cap. This one is our required vector, and using this vector we have to find out the direction cosines of our given vector. Okay, so for finding the direction cosines of the vector we know the result. Okay, we can take a upon square root of a square plus b square plus c square. It is the first direction cosine. Okay, second direction cosine can be written as b upon square root of a square plus b square plus c square, and third direction cosine can be written as c upon square root of a square plus b square plus c square. Okay, yes. Okay, now what we do here? First we go for finding the direction ratios of the vector. Okay, using our given vector, we can write the direction ratio. Okay, so how can we write the direction ratios? We can write direction we can write direction ratios using our given vector. Okay, so this one is our vector, and using direction vector we can write the direction ratios as a first coefficient, which gives us the 1, second coefficient which gives us the 2, and third coefficient which gives us the negative of 2. Okay, these three are the direction ratios for our given vector. Okay, so using these direction ratios we will go for finding the direction cosines for our vector. Okay, now we consider this one is the A, which is equal to 1. Okay, first direction ratio. Second, we consider B, which is equal to 2, is the second direction ratio. And third, we consider negative of 2, which is the third direction ratio here. Okay, and for finding the direction cosine for our angle, we know that we can write first direction cosine as a upon square root of a square plus b square plus c square. Okay, this one is the first A, comma b upon, we can write next direction cosine as a square plus b square plus c square. Okay, this one is the second direction cosine, and third direction cosine we can write it as the c upon a square plus b square plus c square. Okay, this one is our third direction cosine. Okay, these are the three direction cosines we have here. Okay, and as we know that already we have the value for a, b, c, which is the direction ratios for our vector. Go for substitution of a, b, c in our given required direction cosine. Okay, let's go for the substitution of value. Now we can write a upon square root of a square plus b square plus c square as a which is equal to 1. Okay, 1 upon square root of a square plus b square plus c square. That means 1 square plus 2 square plus minus upper 2 bracket square. Okay, this one is our first direction cosine here. Okay, similarly go for finding the second direction cosine and third direction cosine here. Okay, let's go for the next for finding second direction cosine. B upon a square plus b square plus c square. That means 2 upon 2 completely divided by 1 square plus 2 square plus minus upper 2 bracket square. Okay, this one is the second direction cosine. Okay, now let's go for the third, minus 2 upon square root of a square. I just substitute these values here. Okay, okay, comma square root of a square plus b square plus c square means 1 square plus 2 square plus minus 2 of bracket square. Okay, these are the three our given direction cosines. Okay, let's go for finding their calculations. Okay, just need to go for the finding their square root. Okay, so we can write 1 upon 1 square, it remain 1, 2 square it goes to 4, and 2 square it goes to 4. Okay, so that means 4 plus 1. Okay, we can write it as the square root of 9. Okay, comma next 2 upon 1 square plus 2 square plus 2 square, it always goes to the negative square root of 9. Okay, and third upon minus 2 upon, similar addition it is here, so we take it as the square root of 9. Okay, so take the perfect 9, it is a perfect square. Okay, so sorry, 9 it is a perfect square root for some number like a 3 square, we can take it as the 9. Okay, so we can write 1 upon square root of 9 is a 1 upon 3. 2 upon square root of 9 we can write it as the 2 upon 3, and third minus 2 upon 3. Okay, these three are the direction cosines. Okay, these three are the direction cosines for our given vector. Okay, that one we want here in our example. Okay, I'm expecting that you all have understood. Just we have applied two basic result for finding the direction cosines. Okay, so before that you need to know how can we extract direction ratios from our line. Okay, so we have here direction vector for our direction ratios. Okay, so we have given vector here. Okay, we have given vector I cap plus 2j cap minus 2k cap is our first vector, and using that vector I have written direction ratio here. Okay, so I got the 3 direction ratios here, and using these 3 direction ratios I found the value for 3 direction cosines here. Okay, this one is the first direction cosine, second direction cosine, and third direction cosine are having value 1/3, 2/3, and minus 2/3 respectively. Okay, So I hope you all have understood this solution. Now let's move for the next solution. In our next example, we have given find the direction ratios of the vector perpendicular to the two lines. Okay, what we want here, we have to find direction ratios of the vector. Find DRS. Okay, direction ratios of a vector okay, perpendicular to the lines. Okay, perpendicular to the lines okay, perpendicular to the lines whose direction ratios are -2, 1, -1 and -3, -4 and 1. Okay, so we have given direction ratios, okay, which is a -2, 1, -1 and -3, -4, 1, and we want the direction ratios of a vector which are the perpendicular to the given two vertices. Okay, now first of all let's plot the figure that what we have given in our example. Okay, first of all we are going to write their equation using our given direction ratios. Okay, so -2, 1, -1 and -3, -4, 1, these are the two vertices we have here. Okay, so what we do here, now we are going to convert that vertices in the form of some equation like this equation in the coming in the form of A, B and C. Okay, and when we have condition for perpendicularity, already I have explained how can we define the direction ratios for our perpendicular lines. Okay, now how can we define here? So we introduce A, B, C as the three variable with our direction vertices for our direction ratio. So we can write it as the -2 times A plus 1 times B minus 1 times C, which is equal to 0, which is our first equation I have written. Let's go for the next. -3 times A minus 4 times B plus C, which is equal to 0. Okay, these two equation we have here. Okay, -2A plus B minus C 0, -3A minus 4B plus C, which is equal to 0. I have written these two values here. Okay, yes, now using these two value we are going to define the value for our given direction ratios. Okay, so for finding the direction ratios, we know that we can take it as the A upon under determinant B, C, B, B1, C1, B2, C2. Okay, similarly we can write minus B upon B, we can take other than B here. Okay, so earlier we have taken negative B, so we can write A1, C1, A2, C2. Okay, when we have the vectors which are the perpendicular, okay, then we consider this case. So C upon A1, B1, A2, B2. Okay, so we take this one here. Okay, now what we do here for finding the value for A1, A2, A3, B1, B2, B3, we take it from here. So A1 minus 2, A2, A1, B1, C1, A2, B2, C2. Okay, so A1 minus 2. Okay, after that we take A2, A1, B1 as a 1 and C1 as a -1. Okay, A2 minus 3, B2 minus 4 and C2 as a 1. Okay, and we are going to substitute all these values in our determinant and just the part of calculation after this. Okay, yes, so we don't have the value for E, B, C, so we will keep this value as it is because these are our required direction ratios. Okay, so we can see here first we consider A1 as a using this one. Okay, A1A plus B1B plus C1C, which is equal to 0. So we consider A1 as a -2, A1 as -2, B1 as 1 and C1 as -1. Okay, similarly A2 as a -3, B2 as -4 and C2 as 1. Okay, these are the value I have found using our given condition. Okay, A1, A, B1, C1, A2, B2, C2. Okay, so I introduce here A1, B1 C1 here, A2 B2 C2 here. Okay, now we need to substitute all these values here. Okay, so we will get the our direction ratios. Okay, so we want here as the direction ratios for our two line segment. Okay, okay, so direction ratios for the perpendicular line. For perpendicular line direction ratios, we write A upon determinant of A, B1 C1 B2 C2. Now we can see here B1 C1 B2 C2. So 1 minus 1 minus 4 and 1. Okay, this one is the first. Similar like minus B, keep minus B as it is, as we don't have the value for A, B, C here. Okay, so we have to find it out the value for A, B and C. Okay, so similarly substitute here A1 C1 A2 C2. Okay, so A1 C1 A2 C2. Okay, minus 2 minus 1 minus 3 1. Okay, minus 2 minus 1 minus 3 1. Okay, so A1 C1 A2 C2, which is a minus 2 minus 1 minus 3 1, upon C upon A1 B1 A2 B2. Okay, A1 B1 A2 B2, which is minus 2 1 minus 2 1. Okay, and minus 3 minus 4. Okay, because we, as we have condition for perpendicular lines. Okay, so that's why I use this formula here. Okay, so A upon this determinant, second and third determinant. Okay, yes, now let's go for finding the value for our determinant. Okay, so just find out the value and substitute, revert it back here. So we can write A upon, okay, 1 1 1, minus of minus 4 into minus 1. Okay, which is gives us plus 4. So 1 minus 4 we can take it here. Okay, because minus minus plus. Okay, and 1 minus next term here. Okay, similarly minus B upon, solve these 2 by 2 determinant, which gives a minus 2, and minus minus plus again minus, which gives minus 3. Okay, similarly C upon minus 2 into minus 4, which is a positive 8, minus of minus 3, which gives us positive 3. Okay, so this is our next value. So we can write A upon 1 minus 4 as 1 minus 4 as minus 3, minus B upon minus 2 minus 3, which gives us minus 5. So minus B upon minus 5. So we can write B upon 5 here. Okay, and similarly C upon 8 plus 3. Okay, we write C upon 8 plus 3 as a C upon 11. Okay, these all are the value we have here, minus 3, 5 and 11. A upon minus 3, B upon 5 and C upon 11. Okay, so as we have here A upon minus 3, B upon 5 and C upon 11, which is the A, which is equal to here minus 3, 5 and 11, which are the required direction ratios. Okay, minus 3, 5 and 11 all are required direction ratios. Okay, which all are the required direction ratios for our given line. Okay, so I'm expecting that you all have understood this solution. Nothing it is difficult here. Just we need to understand what is the direction ratios first here. So here A1 B1 C1 A2 B2 C2 all are given here as a direction ratios for the two different points. Okay, using this we have to find out the direction ratios for perpendicular line. Okay, and as we know that for finding the direction ratio for perpendicular line, we use this standard result. Okay, we use this one is the standard result, which is very much important here. Okay, so I hope you all have understood. Now let's move for the next example. Yes, in our next example we have given find the direction cosine of the line perpendicular to the line whose direction ratios are. Okay, so what we want here, we have to find out the direction cosines of the line. Okay, what we want, we have claim here, what we have claim here, direction cosines. Okay, direction cosines. Okay, we want here direction cosines. Okay, direction cosines of the line. Okay, and the line which is a perpendicular to the two different point, minus 2 1 minus 1 and minus 3 minus 4 1. Okay, so this example it is similar like a previous example. Okay, as we in our previous example we have taken one line which is a perpendicular to the another two direction ratios. Okay, so first direction ratio perpendicular to the another direction ratios. In this case, what we have, in such a case, what we are defined there, we have used one important result, that A upon, yes, under modulus A, under determinant A1 B1 B1 C1 B2 C2. Similar like a result we have to apply here in this example. Okay. Yes. Okay. Now first of all, introduce the variable ABC here. Okay. So we can write it as the minus 2 times A plus B minus C, which is equal to 0, minus 3 times A minus 4 times B plus C, which is equal to 0. Okay. These two equation we have here. Okay. And using both of them, we have to find out the value for direction cosines. Okay. Yes. Now as we have here the value for A1 minus 2, B1 1 and C1, which is a minus 3. Okay. That means A1 B1 C1, similar like A2 is a minus 3, B2 which is here minus 4, and C2 which is here 1. Okay. So we have value for A1 B1 C1, A2 B2 C2 here. Okay. This one is a A1 B1 and C1, again A2 B2 and C2. Okay. All these values we have here. Okay. Yes. So these all are the value we have given here for our two equations. Okay. Now what we do for finding the direction ratios for our perpendicular line, as we know that we can take it as the A upon A1 B1 A2 B2. Okay. So we can write the direction ratios for the perpendicular line as a upon under modulus B1 C1 B2 C2. Okay. So as if you are going to take A as a part of numerator, that means we have to take denominator other than the variable for A. Okay. So A, it is numerator here, so we can take it as the B1 C1 B2 C2 here. Okay. Similarly minus B upon, so we have to take plus minus in this sequence. Okay. So similarly my B up numerator here, so we can write A1 C1 A2 C2 as the part of denominator, and similarly C upon A1 B1 A2 B2 here. Okay. So in our next step, what we do, we are just going to substitute all the value for A1 B1 and C1 A2 B2 and C2 in our given formula. Okay. So let's go for the substitution. A upon B1 C1 B2 C2. Okay. 1 minus 3 minus 4 1. Okay. 1 minus 3 minus 4 1. Okay. This is our 2 by 2 determinant. Okay. Which is equal to minus B. Okay. So minus B keep as it is, as we don't have the value for A, B and C. These are the direction ratios for our perpendicular line that we are going to define it later. Okay. Yes. Minus B upon A1 C1 A2 C2. So A1 C1 A2 C2, which is a minus 2 minus 3 minus 2 minus 3 minus 3 1 here. Okay. Minus B upon this one, and left over here C upon A1 B1 A2 B2. Okay. So A1 B1 A2 B2, which is a minus 2 1 minus 2 1. Okay. Minus 3 and minus 4. Okay. This one is the value for C divided by minus 2 1 minus 3 minus 4. Okay. Now let's go for finding the value for our determinant. Okay. So just need to define the determinant here. Okay. So keep numerator as it is, the denominator whatever the constant value coming from the denominator, which are the required direction ratios for of the line. Okay. These are the direction ratios of our line. Then after that we have to define the direction cosines using our line. Okay. So go for finding 1 into 1, it remain 1, minus of 4 3s are 12. Okay. A upon 1 minus 12, minus B upon minus 2 minus 3 into minus 3 minus 9. Okay. So negative sign it is there. So C upon 2 4s are 8. Okay. So minus 2 into minus 4, it goes to the minus of minus 8. That means it is a plus 8, and a minus of minus 3, which is a plus 3. Okay. So we can write A upon minus 11, which is equal to B upon minus 2 and minus 9, which is a minus 11 minus positive B upon 11, and C upon 11. Okay. So we got the 11 minus 11 11 and 11. These three are the given direction ratios of our line. Okay. Yes, these three are the direction ratios. So what we get here, 1 into 1, it is here. So minus of minus plus, which is a 4 3s are 12. Okay. Minus 2 1, a1, b1, a2, b2. Okay, so just need to substitute the value 1 minus 1. Okay, just need to substitute the value here. Okay, so what we have here, 1 a1, b1, a2, b2. Okay, 1 minus 1 b2, c2 here. Okay, just need to substitute the values in our given result, that we will get the required answer. Okay. Okay, the value we have here, let me verify the value, minus 2a plus b minus c, which is equal to 0. So a minus 2, 1 minus 3. Okay, minus c here. We don't have c1 as a minus 3. Okay, so by mistakenly I have taken c1 as minus 3, but as we have here c1 as here minus 1. Okay, which is, it is not a minus 3. Okay, which is a minus 1. So by mistakenly I have taken minus 3, but it is not minus 3, which is minus 1 here. Okay, so if this is minus 1, so c1 it goes to b1, c1 it also goes to minus 1. Okay, so wherever you found minus 3, so replace this one. So this one is a minus 1. Okay, b1, c1, b2, c2. So b1, c1, b2, c2, a1, c1, a2, c2, a1, b1, a2, b2. Okay, just only these two value need to replace. Yes, minus 2, minus 1. Okay, then go for finding the determinant. So 1 into 1, it is remain 1. So minus 4 into minus 1. Okay, it goes to the positive 4. So value for our determinant, it will be changed here. Okay, so let me write these values again. Yes, okay, what we have determinant here, now see that 1 into 1 it remain 1, minus 4 into minus 1 it is a plus 4, 1 minus 4 it gives us 1 minus 4, it is here 1 into 1, so minus 4 here. Similarly, minus 2 into 1 minus 2, again minus of minus 3 into minus 1, which is a plus 3, so minus of 3 it comes. Okay, so minus 2 into minus of 3. Similarly, minus 2 into minus 4, which is a minus 8, so minus of minus 3, which gives a plus 3. Okay, so a upon 1 minus 4, which gives us minus 3, minus b upon minus 2 minus 3. Okay, which goes to the minus of 5, minus minus can cancel here. Okay, b upon 5, and c upon minus 8 plus 3, which gives us c upon 5 here. Okay, minus 3, 5 and 5, minus 3, 5 and next 5. Okay, minus 8. Okay, minus 4 into minus 2 into minus 4, which is a minus 8, it goes to here, and a minus 3 into minus here. Okay, it goes to the positive. Let me verify the value for a1, b1, a2, b2. Minus 1, 1, minus 3, minus 1, minus 2, 1, minus 3 and minus 4. It is correct here. Okay, so 2 4s are 8 here, so it goes to the positive 8 here. Okay, so we can see here minus 2 into minus 4, which is a positive of 8 here. Okay, so which is the positive of 8, minus 2 into minus 4, which is positive of 8, and negative of a negative 3, which is a positive 3. Okay, C, which is a c upon 11. These three are the direction ratios for our line. Okay, direction ratios of our line, which is a minus 3, 5 and 11. We have, these are the direction ratios for our line. Okay, so in our example, what we want here, we want the direction cosines of the line. Okay, so for finding the direction cosines of the line, we know that the result, we can take it as the a upon square root of a square plus b square plus c square. Okay, this one is the first direction cosine. Okay, again similarly, b upon square root of a square plus b square plus c square as the second direction cosine, and the third direction cosine, c upon a square plus b square plus c square. Okay, this one is our third direction cosine. Okay, now substitute the value for a, b, c. So as we have the direction ratio, minus 3, consider it as the a, 5, consider it as the second direction ratio, and third direction ratio, which is the c. Okay, now substitute all the value. A is a minus 3 divided by square root of minus 3 square plus 5 square plus 11 square, minus 3 square plus 5 square plus 11 bracket square. Okay, comma. So b upon, what is the value for b, which is a 5 upon minus 3 square plus 5 square plus 11 square. Okay, this one is the second. And the third direction cosine c upon the value for c, which is 11, completely divided by minus 3 square plus 5 square plus 11 square. Okay, which is the third direction cosine. Okay, now let's go for finding the values. Okay, so in our next step, so minus 3 square, it goes to the 9, 5 square 25, and last step 11 square is 121. Okay, so 121. So 121 plus 25, 5 square 25 plus 9. Okay, 121 plus 9, which is 130, and 130 plus 25, which gives 155. Okay, so our first direction cosine, it can be written as minus 1 upon square root of 155, as we don't have 155 as a perfect square for any other number, so keep as it is. So minus 1 upon square root of 155. Second direction cosine, we write it as the 5 upon square root of 155. Okay, and third direction cosine, we can write it as the 11 upon square root of 155. Okay, this one is our third direction cosine here. Okay, so these are the three direction cosine we want in our solution. Okay, this one is the first direction cosine, this one is the second, and this one is a third direction cosine. Okay, so we have given here, we found here three different direction cosine for our given line. Okay, so first of all, what we have done, we found the value using our standard result for direction cosines. Okay, so I got here as a direction ratio first, and once I got the direction ratios, I substitute these values in our direction cosine. Okay, so this one is our first direction cosine, second direction cosine, and third direction cosine. Question asked in March 2015 board exam for 4 marks. Okay, let's move for the next question. Okay, still we have 3 questions. Okay, so in our next question, we have given a line drawn from the point A1 to 1, which is a perpendicular to the line joining P146, Q455, 544, and then find out the coordinate of the foot of a perpendicular. Okay, so we want the coordinate for foot of our perpendicular. Now we can see that here, first of all, we have to plot our given data from our question. Okay, so here in our question, we have given point A. Okay, point A we have given here. Let me plot the line here first. Point A, which gives us the vertices 1 to 1. Okay, point A gives us 1 to 1. Point perpendicular to the line joining point P, Q. Okay, P and Q we have line segment, and A, which is the perpendicular to our line. Okay, so A don't have our part of segment, which is the perpendicular for our given line segment. So we have here P point 146, P point 146, again Q point 544, Q point we have here 544. Okay, we have point P146, Q 544. Okay, and A, which is a perpendicular, the point A, from point A, which we have here perpendicular, the point A which represent 1 to 1. Okay, these 3 conditions we have given here. Point A, which is perpendicular to the line segment PQ, and it is perpendicular at point, consider another point as a B. Okay, yes, now using our given data, let's go for finding the coordinate of a foot of a perpendicular. That means we want the coordinate for our foot of perpendicular. Okay, so we want the coordinate here. We want the coordinate for this foot of our perpendicular. Okay, okay, let's go for finding the coordinate for our foot of perpendicular. As we know that we have point PQ, which divides line segment PQ B as a internally. So as we don't have the division of our internal line segment, so consider the division for internal line segment as a lambda as to 1. Okay, so when we don't have the division for internal line segment, okay, at point internally, so always we consider it as the m as to n, but in this case we consider here as a lambda as to 1. Okay, and go for directly applying a direction, go for directly applying a section formula for internal division. Okay, so section formula for internal division, it says that when we have 2 points, okay, when we have line segment AB which divides third point C as an internal with the ratio m as to n, then we write a section formula for internal division as ma bar plus nb bar upon m plus n. Okay, so we write ma bar plus nb bar upon m plus n as a section formula for internal division. Okay, so this is the only for our position vector a bar and b bar we have here. But in our given perpendicular line, we have given three dimensional, like x, y, z are the three coordinate here. Similarly, x, y, z are again next three coordinate here. So take every vertices here as 1 into first 1, okay, plus 5 into lambda divided by lambda plus 1. Okay, so directly apply the section formula for internal division for every vertices. Okay, so b point can be written as, okay, b point can be written as, so just need to multiply. Okay, so we have here 5 times lambda plus 1 times 1. Okay, so 5 times lambda plus 1 times 1 divided by lambda plus 1. Okay, this one is our first vertices. Similarly, go for the next 4 times lambda plus 4 times 1. Okay, 4 times lambda plus 4 times 1, we can write it as a 4 upon lambda plus 1 as a m plus n. Okay, and similarly third vertices 4 times lambda plus 6 times 1. Okay, 4 times lambda plus 6 times 1 upon lambda plus 1. Okay, which is our third vertices we have here. Okay, so we have here three vertices for our point B. Okay, and using these three vertices we are trying to find out the value for lambda here. Okay, once you come to understand the value for lambda, then it is easier to find out the value for our midpoint. Okay, so we want the coordinate for the foot of perpendicular. Okay, so we want the coordinate for foot of perpendicular. That means we want the value for lambda here. Find out the lambda, substitute it back here, and then you will get the coordinate for our foot of perpendicular. Okay, yes. Now then let's go for finding the direction ratios of a point ratios for AB. Okay, so we want the direction ratios for AB. Okay, direction ratios of DRS of AB. Okay, okay, for finding the direction ratios of AB, what we do, we subtract our coordinate. Okay, that means we subtract first coordinate with the first coordinate, second coordinate with the second coordinate, and third coordinate with the third coordinate from vertices B to from vertices A. Okay, so first coordinate we have here 5 lambda plus 1 divided by lambda plus 1 minus 1. Okay, which is the first vertices. Similarly 4 lambda plus 4, 4 lambda plus 4 upon lambda plus 1. Okay, minus 2, this one is our second vertices. And third 4 lambda plus 6 upon lambda plus 1, which is a third vertices minus 1 here. Okay, all are the three vertices for our line direction ratios for line segment AB. Okay, so we are trying to find out here the direction ratios for our line segment, and then we go for the linear combination for our direction ratios. Okay, so go for finding the value, then let's see which values are coming here. Okay, so after finding all these value, go for the calculation only. Lambda minus 1 into minus 1. Okay, so we get the minus of lambda plus 1. Go for the addition of with our numerator. Okay, yes, that means we write it as the after calculation we write 4 lambda upon, after calculation 4 lambda upon lambda plus 1, 2 lambda plus 2. Okay, here lambda plus 1, keep the denominator as it is. Okay, similarly go for the next calculation of using next one, lambda plus 1 into minus 2 divided minus of this term. Okay, so next step we will get it here 2 lambda plus 2. Okay, next step we can write here 2 lambda plus 2. Okay, let me write it again, 2 lambda plus 2. I'm writing this calculation as I have solved it before. Okay, because these are the time taking. 2 lambda plus 2. Okay, let me change the color. Okay, 2 lambda plus 2, 2 lambda plus 2. Okay, upon lambda plus 1. Okay, these are the second. Need to find out the calculation here only. 2 lambda plus 2 and 3 lambda plus 5. Okay, 3 lambda plus 5 upon lambda plus 1. Okay, these three are the direction ratios for our line segment AB. Okay, these three are the direction ratios for our line segment AB. Okay, now what we do here, we go for the finding their direction ratios for every perpendicular line. Okay, and when we have EB is a perpendicular to the PQ, then we write we as a 4 0 minus 2 in the form of linear combination of first vertices second into the third vertices. Okay, let's go for finding the direction ratios for our line segment AB. That means we write 5 minus 1 as a first direction ratio. 5 minus 1 can be written as 4. 4 minus 4, it goes to the 0, and 4 minus 6, it gives us minus 2. Okay, these three are the direction ratios for our line segment PQ. Okay, these three are the direction ratios for our line segment PQ. So write down the linear combination for these two vertices here. We can write their linear combination as 4 times, okay, first vertex is 4 lambda upon lambda plus 1, okay, plus 0 times the second vertex is 2 lambda plus 2 upon lambda plus 1, and minus 2 times the third vertex is 3 lambda plus 5 upon lambda plus 1. Okay, this one is the third vertices. Go for finding their calculation. Okay, after finding their calculation, you will get the value. Okay, 10 lambda. Okay, so need to find out their calculation here only. Okay, 4 into 4 lambda, which goes to 16 lambda upon lambda plus 1. This second term, it goes to the 0. So minus 2 need to multiply under bracket. Okay, so we will get the value 10 lambda, which is equal to, so you will get the value 10 lambda, which is equal to 10. Okay, 10 times lambda, which is equal to 10. This gives us lambda, which is equal to 1. Okay, these are just a calculation, so that's why I'm skipping these steps here. So put this lambda, which is equal to 1, in our vertices B. So we can be written as 5 into 1 plus 1. That means 6 divided by 2. Okay, next 4 into 1 plus 4. That means 4 plus 4, 8 divided by 2. Okay, next one is 8 divided by 2, and 4 plus 6, 10 divided by 2. Okay, this one is the vertices B we have here. Okay, which is the value for our vertices B. Now let's go for finding their simplest form. 6 by 2, which is a 3, 8 by 2, which is a 4, and 10 by 2, which is a 5. Okay, these three are the vertices for our vector, for our point B. Okay, so that's it we want here in our solution. Okay, I hope you all have understood the entire solution here. Most of the step I skipped it here because these are the just simple calculation. Okay, so let's move for the next solution. Okay, next question from our board exam. Okay, in our next example, we have given example, find the direction ratios of a line which perpendicular the line of a direction ratios 1 3 2 and minus 1 1 2. Similar type of the examples we solved 3 times in our lecture. Okay, so if you wanted to solve this example, you need to refer my previous 2 examples. Okay, using these examples you can solve it easily, or if you want, I will give a little bit of idea here. Okay, so 1 3 2, which is our one vertices we have here. Using this vertices, find out the direction ratios. Okay, so we can write it as the A plus 3B plus 2C, which is equal to 0, which is the first direction, first vertices here. Okay, using 1 3 2. Similarly, using minus 1 1 2. Okay, minus 1 1 2, we are going to find out the direction ratios. We can write it as the minus A plus B plus 2 times C, which is equal to 0. Okay, so this one is our second value. Using this, I found the value here. Using this one, I found the value here. Okay, for finding their direction, for finding their direction ratios, we know that we can write A upon B1 C1 B2 C2. Okay, similarly minus B upon A1 C1 A2 C2, and upon C upon A1 B1 A2 B2. Okay, all these three are the our direction ratios. Okay, these are the 3 direction ratios we have here. Yes, need to substitute the value for A1 B1 A2 B2 A3 B3. Okay, so we know that A1 can be written here as A1, which is equal to 1, B1 3, okay, and the C1, which is equal to 2. Okay, similarly A2 minus 1, B2, which is equal to 1, and C2, which is equal to 2. Okay, all these 3 value we have here. Substitute both of the value in our given standard form. Okay, substitute this value here, then you will get the required answer. Okay, this question asked in our July 2019 board exam for 4 marks. Similar type of the question already we have solved it here. So I kept that example for your homework, okay, and solve this example and let me know the answer in my comment section. Okay, now let's move for the next example. So in our next example, we want the volume of a tetrahedron, okay, and the vertices of a tetrahedron which is given here, okay. Okay, we want the volume of a tetrahedron here, okay, and which vertices is given, okay, and we know that volume of a tetrahedron can be written as 1/6 times the vertices we have here, AB bar, okay, BC bar, and CD bar, okay. These three are the vertices we have here, okay, AB bar, BC bar, and AD bar, okay. Okay, we have AD bar, okay, AB bar, BC bar, and AD bar it is there, okay, not a CD bar, okay, because we are taking in the form of volume of a tetrahedron. So which we get it's here AD bar, okay. This is our volume of tetrahedron, okay. This is the volume of our tetrahedron, okay. Now for finding the vector AB bar, we can write it as the position vector B bar minus A bar, okay. So AB bar can be written as position vector B bar minus A bar. BC bar, vector BC bar can be written as position vector C bar minus B bar, and position vector AD bar, vector AD bar can be written as position vector D bar minus position vector A bar here, okay. Now with respect to every vertices, we do have here their position vector, okay. So with respect to vertices -1, 2, 3, we have position vector A bar, which can be written as minus I cap plus 2 times J cap plus 3 times K cap, okay, with respect to with respect to vertices A. Similarly for vertices B, 3, -2, 1, we have position vector B bar, okay. So 3 times I cap minus 2 times J cap plus K cap here, okay. Yes, and third position vector C of 2, 1, 3, okay. So which we can write position vector C bar, which is equal to 2 times I cap plus J cap plus 3 times K cap are the three given position vectors, okay. This one is a first position vector here, okay. Similarly, second position vector here, okay, and similarly third position vector we have here, okay. We have three of this position vector, and we want the volume of a tetrahedron. That means we want the value for AB bar, BC bar, and AD bar, okay, which multiplied by 1/6, which is our volume of a tetrahedron. So AB bar can be written as B bar minus A bar. So go for the similar variable calculation, like B bar minus A bar means you have to add I cap with I cap, or you have to subtract I cap with I cap. Similarly go for J cap and K cap, okay. Okay, so we will get here B bar cross A, B bar minus A bar, okay. Do find out the value for B bar minus A bar. Similar type of the example already I have solved it here, okay. And need to just substitute all these values in our given result, okay. So AB bar, BC bar, AD bar can be written as AB bar dot BC bar cross AD bar, and need to substitute these values in our given determinant, okay. So B bar minus A bar means 3I minus of minus I, which we can write 4 times I cap, okay. Similarly B bar minus A bar, that means minus 2I minus 2J, we can write as minus 4 times J cap, okay. Plus K cap minus 3K cap, we can write minus 2 times K cap here, okay. B bar minus A bar. Similarly C bar minus B bar, so position vector C bar minus position vector B bar, so 2 I cap minus 3 I cap, which we can write minus of I cap, okay. So J cap minus 2 J cap, we can write minus of minus 2 J cap, we can write plus 3 times J cap, okay. Because J cap minus of minus 2 J cap, we can write it as the plus 3 times J cap. So 3K cap minus K cap, we can write it as the 2 times K cap, okay. This one is our second vector BC bar. Similarly find out the vector AD bar, okay. AD bar means D bar minus A bar, okay. So we have the position vector D bar remain here. D bar can be written as minus I minus 2J plus 4K, minus I cap minus 2 times J cap, okay, plus 4 times K cap, okay. This one is our fourth position vector. Okay, so d bar minus a bar means I cap minus minus I cap minus of minus I cap means my 2 times I cap. Okay, minus 2 j cap plus minus of minus 2 j cap minus 4 times j cap. Okay, 4k cap minus 4k cap minus 3k cap, we can write plus k cap here. Okay, all three are the position vector here. Okay, so for finding the one volume of a tetrahedron, we write a 1 by 6 AB bar, BC bar and AD bar. Okay, AB bar, BC bar, AD bar, which can be written as 1 by 6 the coefficient of their determinant. Okay, coefficient of their determinant of their coefficient. So 4 minus 4 minus 2, 4 minus 4 minus 2, which is the first coefficient here, AB bar. Similarly for BC bar, minus 1, 3, 2, and for third 2 minus 4, 1, 2 minus 4, 1, which is the coefficient for their third position vector. Okay. Okay. Yes, these are the value here, d bar minus a bar. Okay, so d bar minus a bar, so minus of I minus of minus I. Okay, then we get these values here. So find out the value for our determinant, you will get the required answer. Okay, this is just need to find out the last step for our determinant. This is just a calculation. I'm expecting that you all have understood. I'm skipping that calculation for determinant for your homework. Okay, so I'm expecting you all have understood all my entire solution, entire lecture here. Okay, within that lecture we learn here already section formula for internal external division, direction cosines, direction ratios, and some example based on these ones. Okay, so I'm expecting you all have understood everything. Okay, even after, if you found anything difficult, let me know in my comment section. I will come up with a similar video. So thank you everyone, thank you for my today's lecture.